Is part 1.5 filler? This is a question that I have seen floating around ever since part 1.5 became a thing. I don't think part 1.5 is filler. Some people do, and let me make this clear, I do not have a problem with people who think that. Everyone has the right to their own opinion. I just want to explain why I think part 1.5 is important. I'm going to cut to the chase. The main reason for part 1.5 being a thing is Vita. This character was introduced here, and it has been confirmed a few months ago that Vita will play a pivotal role for part 2. If I think about it from Hoyoverse's perspective, I think they want people's main takeaway from part 1.5 to be Vita and her backstory. At the end of part 1.5, Vita starts a brand new chapter in her life. This new chapter being whatever she ends up doing in part 2. To put it simply, you can play part 2 without playing part 1.5 because Vita is essentially an entirely different person now. Part 1.5 is just for people that want to know her backstory. We spend a lot of time getting to know Vita and building up her character in 1.5. So if you see Vita in part 2 and wonder how she got to this point and how she got some of her twisted ideologies and why she makes some of the decisions that she does make, part 1.5 will always be there to play through. Because Vita is a weird woman and her philosophy is kinda fricked up, but if you take into account what she's gone through, it kind of makes sense why she believes in the stuff she does. There's also the Sky People. Part 1.5 had the first ever mention of them, at least in the main story, and that was a shock. What? We found out Saw made those things as well, which is a pretty big reveal. Quick side note, I'm not exactly sure when the Sky People are going to become the main thing to worry about. A post-Honkai Odyssey is still 4 years away canonically, and the entirety of part 1 happened between 2 years. So it may happen at the very end of part 2, or maybe they'll reveal a part 3, I don't know. Back to the main point of the video though. I want to say that of course part 1.5 is a lot more than just Vita and the Sky People. It expands on some side characters from part 1. Seele only got a few chapters to herself in part 1, and she has an entire arc in 1.5 with amazing moments that build her character even more. Even characters that barely appeared in part 1 have more important roles here. Susanna got introduced in the second to last chapter of part 1, so we really didn't get to know her at all. She has some big moments and a lot of growth in 1.5 that I actually really like. Kira was in one chapter in part 1 and then never was seen again until part 1.5, where she takes on a much more prominent role and we get to know her a bit better. Those character growth moments are really just there for people who really enjoy the game and people that want characters from part 1 to be fleshed out either more than they already have been or have barely shown up in part 1. They are side things. The main point of 1.5 is Vita and her backstory and the Sky People. That's all I have for you for now. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.